Okay, let's go. Okay, as I said at the outset, I am Shar Carruthers. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner and lifestyle consultant and wellness mentor for women who feel as though they've lost their spark, like they've lost their mojo. I think we've all had a sense of what that feels like. And over, because of taking care of families or because they've been working too hard or whatever it may be, and they're looking for a natural and a more individualized approach to getting it back. And as I mentioned, today I am talking about Ayurvedic cleansing. I'm talking about what it's all about, how we do it, why we do it, because it's an incredibly important part of the Ayurvedic approach to health and wellness. And as somebody who has been Ayurvedic cleansing for not quite a decade, but almost, and who has cleansed with thousands of people, I'm quite excited about that. I can tell you it's a really powerful practice. So let's start really quickly. Let's talk really quickly about why we cleanse. The Ayurvedic view of who we are is that we are digesting machines. What that means is, and I talk about this often, everything that we come into contact with, including our food, our information, our ideas, our emotions, etc., we have to process those. We have to digest those in some way. And when we overdo it, which most of us do, we compromise our systems for digestion, right? We compromise our ability to move through things, to let things go, to allow things to nourish us. And then what happens then is that things start to get stuck. We know this feeling, right? When we don't feel as light or as bright. We don't feel as clear or as inspired. That's when we know that our digestion, mental and emotional and physical digestive systems have been impacted. So Ayurvedic cleansing is about giving our digestion a break. It's about giving the entire body, mind-body systems for digestion a break. Because when we give our systems a break, it means that our systems can take some time and have a bit of space to redevelop or recharge their ability to do the job that they're here for us to do. So that's one of the first reasons we cleanse. We do an Ayurvedic cleanse. It may be a little bit different to what you've heard in terms of detoxing, or it's not just about cleaning your colon out. It's really a whole body, a mind-body experience. So the first one is we want to give our digestion a break. Secondly, we cleanse because we want to get rid of this stuff that's stuck. It's an opportunity for us to let go, for us to not recharge, but to clear out our systems of digestion and elimination, right? To clean things out. This is the colon cleansing side, but also to clear out what's going on in here, to give ourselves the time and the space to engage in activities that allow us to figure out what's really important and let go of what isn't. The other thing that we do, so that's two. The next is that we use Ayurvedic cleansing as a time to retune ourselves to the cycles of nature. What does that mean? Ayurvedic cleansing is about way more than what you eat. It's about way more than what you think or what you're thinking. It's also about how you act. So it's an opportunity for us to get our sleep cycles back on track, to get our cycles for when we take meals and when we engage with people back on track. It's a chance for us to find our natural rhythm, which to me is one of the most powerful aspects of it. And then lastly, the last why I'll share with you is it's an opportunity for us to reset our mindset. So as we're doing as we're undertaking this practice of tuning in, we're also getting a sense for what we're holding on to that is limiting us, that is not serving us whatsoever, to what's driving us, what's running our show. And we have this beautiful opportunity to reset, right? To set new goals, to reset the way that we think about things, ourselves, the world around us, the people that we surround ourselves with. And so in that way, it's incredibly powerful as well. So those are the four whys. Give our digestion a break, get rid of the goo, basically the toxic goo, whether that's mind or body, retune ourselves with the natural cycles, so finding our natural rhythm, and then lastly, resetting our mindset. So that's the why. Next, I want to dive into the how. How do we do this? Well, many of you have had some experiences with cleansing, and so in that way, Ayurvedic cleansing can be similar to other types of cleansing, but let me just talk to you a little bit about what we do. First and foremost, we lighten up. That's the only way of giving our digestion the space that it needs to repower itself, right? To rebuild itself. If you think about a fire, and in Ayurvedic thinking, we want to think about this fire as not just a fire in the belly, but the fire in the mind, right? That whatever it is that allows us to feel light and to feel inspired and to feel motivated. When that fire is covered with too much, in other words, when it's weighed down or trying to churn through too much, it becomes really difficult for us to burn through it to that feeling of true inspiration. And so what we do is we lighten up. We take a light diet of food, but we don't starve. That's really important, because anyone who's ever been on a cleanse where they've gone days without eating anything, or maybe they just had water or just a light juice, knows that that doesn't really feel so light in the mind, right? That can feel a little bit stressful in the mind. And so Ayurvedic cleansing is focused on ensuring that we're nourishing ourselves, but in a way that that takes into consideration where we are in our bodies. In other words, it doesn't overburden the system. So we're eating food that's light, and we're also limiting our intake of all of the other things, right? Of information. So maybe cutting back on our social media, of interaction. So maybe spending a little bit more quiet time at home, and creating an environment that will allow us to do that. The next is we change our routine. One of the beautiful things about Ayurvedic cleansing, especially if you've never done it before, is that what we try to do is we pull ourselves onto what in Ayurveda, the foundation of Ayurveda, which is what we call Dinacharya. Dinacharya is the Ayurvedic daily routine, and it prescribes certain things for when to wake up, when to eat, the sorts of self-care activities that you want to do throughout the day. It's really more of a framework for helping us to build self-care into our day. The beauty of using it during cleansing is that it means that there's already something set out that we can simply follow. The other beauty of using it during cleansing is it provides a template for us to set our routine once we're done with cleansing, right? So it's a way of kickstarting our focus on self-care. Next, we look inside, right? We spend that time. I've already talked a little bit about that. We spend some time every day in self-inquiry. So for me, I like to think about certain things, certain self-inquiry questions every single day. Things like what matters most. Things like, what does it actually mean to be you? A number of different things that just get us a little bit closer to understanding who we are. This, again, is another incredibly powerful tool that's going to serve us on the other side of the cleansing. And then lastly, we practice love. What does that mean? Well, in my mind, self-care is an important practice, is an important way of having us understand that we are worthy of health and wellness. And so when we're cleansing, we practice love in a lot of ways. We practice love by not eating too much. So by choosing ourselves. We practice love through meditation. We practice love through mindful movement, so yoga. We practice love through breath work. We practice love through abhyanga, which is a self-massage. And so there's lots of different beautiful options that we can engage in during the cleanse that help us to remember our own power to love ourselves, our own power to reinforce our worthiness for living a great life, for feeling healthy and well. And it's funny, it sounds like a given, but really a lot of why we make unhealthy choices in our lives is because we don't feel necessarily worthy of putting ourselves first. And so Ayurvedic cleansing, well and truly, is a reminder of that, of our worthiness. And so those are all of the points that I wanted to share with you. It is cleansing season. Typically we do our cleansing in Ayurveda 2 times a year so that we can build that into our year. In the spring and in the fall, I am actually going to be running a cleanse online in May, the beginning of May, and so you'll be seeing lots more information about that. I do hope that you take the opportunity to join me. It's a terrific experience, lots of fun, lots of information, and a really great way to kickstart not only your practice of cleansing, which so many people have done with me. I love that because many people that I've cleansed with over the years who have just started it at the time that they started it with me have been doing it ever since, which is great. but also just to learn a little bit about Ayurveda and how it can work in your life. Again, a cleanse is a great way to kick off your practice of living some of the beautiful principles of Ayurveda. So that's all I've got to share with you today. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I can see them. I'm going to hang out here for a couple more minutes just to get any questions answered if they're there. I know there were a few people in my group who mentioned that they wanted to sit in on this and ask some questions. They may or may not be here, but that's fine. But if you do have questions, I would love to know if you've cleansed before, like say something or send up a hello or whatever. And if you found it valuable, same thing, say hello or identify yourself. I know there are a number of folks who, I know that was a lot of information. I know there are a number of folks who, who have started cleansing regularly and, but still, even then, enjoy this process of igniting their passion for the progress or for the process of cleansing, and also of getting involved with the community to do it. I'll probably be talking a little bit more about cleansing over the next couple of weeks until the beginning of May, just to maybe give you a few more hints and tips. And I will have thank you, Claudia. I will have a link available. What's today? I'll probably have a link available tomorrow or early next week. You'll definitely hear about it and have the opportunity to sign up. Absolutely. Great. And if you've not done, yes, exactly, Sue. If you haven't done Ayurvedic cleansing, I highly recommend it. It's to me, it feels like the safest and most kind of truly self-focused and holistic type of cleansing there is. And so if you've never done it before, it's a really good thing to try. If nothing else, to have something else in your toolkit for lightening up, right? For feeling, for returning to yourself, and also kind of recharging and renewing yourself. So thank you all for listening up today. I so appreciate it. I will be back next week with another little episode. I can't remember what I'll be talking about, but watch for a post and we'll be talking about that. And yes, Siobhan, yes, a communication cleanse. This kind of includes that sort of stuff, dropping off of these things. I like that idea of dropping off of complaining. I'm gonna incorporate that one into this cleanse. I think that's a terrific idea. So yeah, I'll be back next week with more talk about Ayurvedic living. If you have questions about Ayurvedic living, or if there's something about Ayurveda that you want to know more about and like how to apply it in your life, let me know, because I'm happy to do a talk on this. I've been doing talks like this for years, and I've talked on many different subjects. And because Ayurveda covers so much, there's always so much more to talk about. So if you've got something that you feel maybe even specific to you, consider that it might be something that lots of people want to know about as well. Drop me a line. You can send me a private message or a question anywhere where you can, anywhere in the group or anywhere in a post, and I will take that to heart and see about addressing that through one of these talks. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Namaste.